Welcome back. We are tracking a major diplomatic development following 21 hours of high-stakes marathon negotiations in Islamabad, Pakistan, aimed at ending the 7-week-long war between the United States and Iran. Despite the intensity of these face-to-face meetings, the highest-level discussions between these two nations in 47 years, Vice President JD Vance has confirmed that no deal has been reached. The deadlock in Islamabad. The negotiations took place at a highly secured luxury hotel, led by a U.S. delegation including Vice President Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and the President's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. While Iran's foreign ministry suggested that
we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States, an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States.
Understanding was reached on several points. They admitted significant gaps remain on 2 or 3 critical issues. What the U.S. is demanding. The core of the U.S. position, as stated by Vice President Vance, is an affirmative commitment that Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon or the tools to achieve one. Beyond the nuclear issue, the White House is demanding the surrender of Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, an end to their ballistic missile program, a halt to support for terror groups, guaranteed free passage in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital artery where 20% of the world's oil supply flows. Iran's counter-demands. On the other side of the table, Iran is pushing for its own set of requirements before any ceasefire can be finalized. The release of billions of dollars in frozen assets, an immediate end to Israeli attacks against Hezbollah in Lebanon, binding security guarantees against future attacks on Iranian soil. The global impact. As this conflict enters its 7th week, the impact is being felt globally, particularly by Americans facing high gas prices. While President Trump appeared nonchalant about the lack of a deal, opting to attend a UFC fight in Miami while talks were ongoing, the military situation remains tense. For the first time since the war began, 2 U.S. destroyers have successfully passed through the Strait of Hormuz to ensure the security of shipping channels. What's next? Pakistan's foreign minister is currently acting as a facilitator, encouraging both sides to return to the table to prevent further escalation. Whether these understandings. High gas prices. As the war enters its 7th week, American consumers are already facing high gas prices. The fact that no agreement was reached in the negotiations means that no relief for these prices is expected in the near future. The Strait of Hormuz and oil supply. Uncertainty continues in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical point through which 1/5, 20% of the world's oil supply flows. The White House is demanding that Iran end its threats to stop the free passage of ships. However, the absence of a deal has left the future security of this vital shipping channel unclear. Supply chain security. Despite the lack of an agreement, 2 U.S. Navy destroyers passed through the strait for the first time since the war began, and a total of 11 vessels, including 3 oil tankers, crossed on Saturday. This situation indicates that the U.S. is utilizing its military presence to protect the flow of the economy. Relative economic impact. Vice President JD Vance argues that the failure to reach a deal is bad news for Iran, much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. This statement reveals that the U.S. administration believes the pressure of the current situation on the Iranian economy is much more severe.